the best midweight adventure bikes for 2025. And we will also look at the cheapest to the most expensive midweight adventure bikes. Recently we looked at the best lightweight bikes for adventure riding. Now we will explore the midweight models. Our criteria: 175 kilos to 220 kilos with a full tank of fuel. That is 386 pounds to 485 pounds. Current 2025 models available in most countries and reasonably well established brands with a good reputation. Weight isn't important for all riders, especially if you are physically strong and a very experienced rider. However, a lot of middle-aged riders are not able to pick up their bike after dropping it, and many are injured getting back into the sport after a long break. It's why new and returning riders often realise their new adventure bike is too heavy and they have to downsize. Next, remember, there is a broad spectrum of adventure bikes. Some are oriented to off-road performance due to lighter weight, a 21-inch front wheel and more suspension travel. Some are oriented to on-road performance and will have a 17-inch front wheel, less suspension, but a lower seat height too. The Covet 800X Pro is a real surprise, the lightest twin-cylinder adventure bike available, and owners have verified that weight. It's a relatively new Chinese brand, but based on the KTM 790 engine. Another surprise, owners report no major issues at all. It is probably the best midweight option for off-road performance, but still surprisingly good on the road too. It sets a new benchmark for weight in the 800cc category. Another Chinese contender, so far the CF Moto 450MT has shown a quality and reliability unlike previous Chinese brands. The budget price is exceptional too. We are keeping a close eye on this CF Moto to see if any long-term problems develop. See our review video. The Honda NX500 is a very similar bike, although it has the smaller 19-inch front wheel. In recent years it was called the CB500X and has the usual reputation for Honda reliability. The Royal Enfield Himalayan is heavy for a single-cylinder adventure bike, but it has a very low seat height despite the 21-inch front wheel. Previous models had various issues, not a lot of power and mediocre suspension. All this has changed for 2025, but still keeping the very low price. A good option if you like that old school theme. The Aprilia Touareg 660. It's expensive, but all the reviews rave about its agility, handling and performance. Some owners report niggling little issues that are worth investigating if considering the Aprilia. The Yamaha Tenere 700. Introduced in 2019, it was a well-priced, solid bike that proved to be very popular. Unfortunately, the price has risen a lot due to that demand, at least in Australia. But it's still cheaper than its main competitors, although having less power. See our review. Owners often upgraded the soft suspension, but the 2025 model has updated suspension and quite a few other tweaks. We look forward to hearing the results. A similar model is the Honda Transalp 750. It's a budget offering from Honda that is much cheaper than the Tenere, at least in Australia. It is a bit more road oriented too, with its soft suspension and underslung exhaust. That exhaust definitely needs serious protection if you like rough terrain. The Suzuki V-strom 650. This old workhorse is still made in Japan and has been around forever. It's definitely a bike for the highway and just easy dirt roads. The seat is quite low and it's arguably the first model that is very comfortable for pillion passengers. See our review. The KTM 890 Adventure. Unfortunately, the 890 and its predecessor the 790 were well known for camshaft issues and KTM's very poor response to the issue initially. While these problems were resolved, there are now the financial problems of KTM and its whole future is in doubt. The 890 itself, it certainly gets rave reviews for its performance on-road and off-road. A fraction heavier, the Kawasaki Versys 650. This is probably the most road-oriented model of the lot. Some riders would argue it's not really an adventure bike at all with that underslung exhaust and 17-inch front wheel. The price and weight is about on par with the very similar V-strom 650. Another similar model is the CF Moto 650 MT, but at a ridiculously low price. It's close to half the price of a V-strom, although even more road-oriented than the Suzuki. Back to the expensive bikes, the BMW F900 GS. In 2024, it became slimmer, lighter, more powerful, and more off-road oriented. This is the base model. See the BMW website for variants. The Ducati Desert X, the most expensive model, but apparently a lot of fun in the hands of my Canadian cousins, who treated it like an enduro bike. It's extremely capable, but you probably need to be a real fan of Ducati to spend this much money. Our final model, it just sneaks into our weight criteria because it has a bigger fuel tank than most. Unfortunately, the KLR 650 was a reasonably light bike many years ago, but Kawasaki just kept making it heavier and heavier, especially after 2022. However, it's still a very cheap, reliable, single-cylinder bike, but if you want much lighter 650 singles, then look at the Honda XR650L or Suzuki DR650. What about seat heights? This can be critical for shorter riders or beginners. The lower the seat, the more chance you have of keeping that bike upright in rough terrain. It's great to have a wide range of choices here to suit short or tall riders. Remember, the width of the seat makes a difference too. Ensure you sit on these bikes in the showroom before buying. Remember, some of these models may offer low seat options too. Price? There's a huge difference. That Ducati Desert X is about 3 times the price of a Royal Enfield Himalayan. No doubt some viewers will wonder why we haven't included a lot of cheap Chinese brands, except for Covair and CF Moto. We preferred to just feature these because reports from owners about long-term reliability are looking very positive to date. So, have you ridden any of these bikes? Do you own one? Keen to hear your thoughts? Let us know in the comments.